Hello friends, welcome to the PetCorner channel. Today we're going to talk about what your dog really thinks when you talk to him. Many owners believe that dogs do not understand our words, but the truth is much more amazing than it seems. In this video, we will reveal how dogs perceive our conversations, what they actually pick up, and how this affects their behavior. Dogs, like other animals, do not have the ability to understand human words the way we do. Nevertheless, they have a remarkable ability to perceive the emotions that we express through intonation and voice. When we talk to dogs, it is important to understand that it is not the words that are more important to them, but the tone, timbre, and emotions that are conveyed through the voice. Dog owners often notice that their pets are very sensitive to changes in their voice. For example, if you speak calmly and affectionately, the dog can relax and show trust, while a harsh and irritated intonation can cause her anxiety, or even fear. This is directly related to the fact that dogs do not just hear sounds, but interpret them through the emotional coloring conveyed in your voice. When we address a pet, our words are not just a set of sounds, but a kind of signal. For example, if you say "come here" in a soft and soothing tone, the dog may perceive it as an invitation or a request, while the same words uttered with increased intonation may be perceived as a demand or an order. This does not mean that the dog does not hear the differences in words, but it is the intonation that helps it interpret our intention. Intonation helps dogs navigate the emotions of their owners. For example, if you are in a good mood, it will be obvious to your dog, and you will try to establish contact by happily wagging his tail and being active. If you are stressed or irritated, the dog will also feel it and may begin to behave more cautiously or anxiously. This also explains why dogs are so sensitive to changes in our mood and emotional state. In addition, intonation can be used to train a dog. Owners often use a certain tone to reinforce a command or encourage a dog. When a dog hears commands with a positive intonation, it associates this with encouragement and will strive to repeat the desired behavior. On the contrary, if the command is accompanied by a strict and clear tone, the dog can understand that its behavior does not meet the expectations of the owner. An example is when you teach a dog to follow commands such as sit or lie down. When a command is uttered with a clear and confident intonation, the dog perceives it as a signal for action. Dogs tend to pick up on the emotional undertones of a voice quickly, so it's important for them to keep the intonation consistent and clear so they can associate your voice with a specific action. Do not underestimate the influence of intonation in more everyday situations. When you rejoice with your dog and use positive intonation, you not only strengthen your emotional connection with your pet, but also create positive associations with a team or action. Dogs that often receive positive signals through intonation learn faster and become more confident. Another important feature is how dogs react to intonation in stressful situations. For example, if you see that a dog is nervous or afraid, it is important to use a soothing and gentle tone to reduce his anxiety. If the intonation becomes strict or elevated, this can only increase stress, as the dog will feel threatened or tense. Dogs, especially those who lived with us in houses or apartments, are very good at sensing emotional changes. Changes in your voice, nonverbal cues, and even your behavior can be perceived by the dog as a change in your mood. This helps the pet to better navigate your condition and adapt its behavior depending on what is happening around it. Thus, intonation plays a key role in communicating with a dog. It's not just a way to convey information, but a powerful tool that helps dogs understand our moods, reactions, and attitudes. Understanding how dogs perceive intonation helps build a more harmonious relationship with them and train them effectively. Intonation also plays an important role in interpersonal communication with a pet. For example, when you praise a dog, it is important to use a warm, joyful intonation. This will allow the pet to understand that his behavior is positively evaluated. In turn, if you use a strict intonation, the dog will understand that something has gone wrong, and it must correct its behavior. Some studies show that dogs can perceive intonation even in the absence of direct eye contact. For example, if a dog hears the owner's voice with a joyful intonation from another room, it will try to approach and establish contact. This is because dogs intuitively sense changes in human emotions and perceive them through their voice, which affects their behavior and condition. Dogs, despite the fact that they cannot understand human words in the full sense of the term, have an amazing ability to associate certain phrases and commands with specific actions. This ability is based on the associations that the dog begins to establish between sounds and corresponding actions. Gradually, the dog learns that every word or phrase is a signal that predicts what it should do. One of the most striking examples is the word walk. When you say this phrase, the dog immediately associates it with a walk, which causes her joy and excitement. This does not mean that the dog understands what walking means, but it learns that after these words something pleasant will come, going outside, where you can run and explore the environment. This is the type of association that most of the commands you give your pet work with. It is important to note that dogs learn based on repetition. If you constantly say walk before going outside, the dog begins to remember this connection and will continue to respond to this word with joy and activity. This is because the dog associates not only the sound itself, but also the context. Another example is the place command. When you say place to your dog, this word begins to be associated with the fact that the dog should go to his place to rest. Over time, the dog learns that the word place is a signal for action, and it will understand that it needs to be sent to a certain area to rest or sleep. It can be a couch or any other place that you have chosen for your pet. The mechanism of dog learning is that they associate sounds and words with the actions that follow them. When the dog performs the desired action in response to a command, the owner encourages it. This encouragement can be in the form of praise, toys, treats, or just attention. This approach helps to strengthen associations and helps dogs to memorize commands faster. For example, when you say sit and the dog sits down, and then receives a treat or praise, it begins to associate this command with positive results. In addition, dogs also begin to understand common phrases such as good boy or smart girl, which are positive reinforcers. These words create an association with something pleasant in the dog and can strengthen its behavior. It is important that these words are used at the right moment, when the dog is doing something right. Dogs also begin to associate words with actions in the context of certain situations. For example, the word food can cause a dog to feel joyful excitement, as it understands that this word predicts the receipt of food. Such associations help dogs feel more confident, as they understand that certain phrases mean something specific. It is very important that the dog uses consistency in training. For example, if you want your dog to learn the command lie down, it is important that you always pronounce this word the same way, in the same context. If the intonation changes, or if you say different phrases with the same meaning, the dog may get confused. Clarity and consistency are the keys to successful learning. It is also worth considering that dogs can perceive commands not only verbally, but also through nonverbal signals. For example, when giving the sit command, the dog can understand what needs to be done, not only from the sound of the word, but also from the gesture of your hand or from the way you show the direction of movement. Dogs are very sensitive to nonverbal signs, and if you learn to give them at the same time as commands, it will significantly improve the dog's understanding of your intentions. Additionally, some dogs may learn to associate certain phrases with a positive or negative outcome, depending on how they perceive the situation. For example, if you say enough is enough with a negative intonation, The dog will quickly realize that this is a command to stop undesirable behavior and will associate it with the termination of the action. This association formation process is an important part of dog education and training. Your goal as an owner is to use these connections to establish effective communication with your pet. This will make it easier for you to train your dog and keep his behavior on track. So now you know that dogs are much smarter and more perceptive than we thought. They understand our voice and intonation, associate words with actions, and, most importantly, love our communication. By talking to your pet, you not only train him, but also strengthen your emotional bond. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the PetCorner channel. Write in the comments how your dog reacts to your communication and what phrases she has already learned. See you in the next videos.